Hello, everybody. Welcome to Picross S7. Picross? I'm pretty sure it's Picross, but I don't know. Let's begin. Yes, I did play those games. We'll get to that. Okay, so first off, options. Let's turn that off. Let's turn that off. Let's turn that off. And we're good. We could turn the cursor speed up. We could. That seems fine. I use the No, wait. I use direct for color, but we're not going to get to that today. I'm just setting it up for later. All right, so Picross. I've really gotten into these games in the last couple years. I started playing these when the first Picross came out on the Switch, Picross S, and now we're up to S7. They've added some features since then, but that's not really relevant because you never saw me play 1 through 6. But here's 7. Here we go. We do not need a tutorial. I will explain how this game works. Maybe I should have viewed that, actually. No, that's fine. What I want is... actually we can view the tutorial for everyone else's sake. Alright, so, in this mode, follow hint numbers to complete a picture. Oh, that's all you're gonna tell me? There we go. I can navigate the tutorial menus, I promise. So, yeah, we don't need to worry about that. Okay, so this screen is where you solve Picross puzzles. Use the fill, X, and mark options at the top of the screen to progress. For more information, check how to play Okay, well, yeah, that's what we want. We want the tutorial. Alright, here we go. Please, yeah, button input. Okay, whatever. Alright, so here's Picross. Alright, so you must use the hints displayed at the top and left side of the puzzle to fill in the squares. These hints show the number of connected squares for that row or column. So, connected squares, meaning... yeah, it's gonna do a better job explaining it than I could, probably. 2 squares there, 4 squares there. When there are multiple numbers, there will always be a gap. To reveal the hidden picture, use the hints to fill in the correct squares. Start here. This is a 5x5 puzzle, means the whole column should be filled in. I did it. Next, look at this row. 3 and 1 with a gap makes 5. Put an X there to indicate that there should not be a square. Look at this row. Because there's only a 2. There can't be any squares active in the corners. Since there's an X on the other side of this block, and there's a 2, there's only one spot it can be in. Make sure to fill out your column, your dead or filled in columns, because it's very, very important. Alright, now this column, there's a square on the edge, which means we can just... oh, they're gonna do this first. So the 2 is too big to fit at the top, meaning we can safely cross it out. So now they're gonna go, hey, there's a 2 and there's only 3 spaces. Meaning no matter what configuration of blocks it is, the middle is always gonna be filled in. Always. Because it can't not be. It can't be split up, or it would be a 1 and a 1, not a 2. Yeah, now it's going to show you this. You pick this up by playing. Okay, I'm done with that. Thank you. Yeah, I got it. Thanks. Got it. Thanks. I understand, game. Can I move on? Okay, cool. Now finish the puzzle. Oh, but actually, though... Don't touch what? you can just hold the X button down and scroll, and it won't overwrite squares if you don't release the button. This is the weirdest Minesweeper you've ever seen. That's because we're not sweeping for mines, we're filling in a picture. Alright, we did the tutorial. Now you all know how to play the game. From there, it's just picking up techniques. Right? Button or stick to switch quickly between. Touch. We're just gonna leave it on buttons. I'm hoping that's the default one. Let's see. The weirdest battleship you've ever seen? That's actually kind of close. Yeah. What do we have? It's music note. Yeah. The fun part is trying to guess what it is before it shows it to you. All right, here we go. Oh, look at this. A column and a row in the middle. Beautiful. Okay. It's an elephant. Yeah, oh, baby elephant. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, video game. Okay. Oops. It's a clock! I got it! Nobody's gonna be able to guess faster than me because the delay is too great. You know what? When we get to the larger pictures, you might be able to figure it out. We recommend a tutorial on how to solve difficult puzzles. I'm gonna do this for your sake. Everyone. It's one of the smiling fries. Please use button input during this tutorial. Okay, so convenient tips on how to solve larger puzzles, so you can sort of get an idea of how I'm looking at these, because we'll just see. First, take a look at the color of the hint numbers. I've turned this off. It makes them too easy. But we're gonna look at it here. Blue numbers mean there are squares that can be filled in or marked. Basically, it's a hint. Hey, this row or this column has something you can do in it. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, do the thing, though. Now, this is actually... Those hints make this really easy. Yeah, well, you know... that you can turn it off, which is what I do. When you're starting out, it's very helpful. And again, these puzzles will get bigger, up to 20 by 15 for the normal game. And then they're incredibly helpful in Mega Picross, which we're not going to get to today. But there are puzzles where the numbers can cross over 2 rows or 2 columns. And the hints are a little bit more helpful there. But if you're just starting out, they're good. I would leave them on for like 1 game. And then when you start up a second game, if you end up liking it, then you can turn them off. Anyway, yeah, like they were saying, like the puzzle was saying, finding an edge piece, just like a jigsaw puzzle, very helpful a lot of the time. So the bottom square is, yeah, blah blah blah, do the thing. Okay. Yep. Do it for all of these too. And I like that it's like, no, don't do it there. Don't touch that one. Don't touch that one. Even though you could. Yeah, look. Yep. So because there's only a single number and we have the edge piece, there's only one way to fill it in this column. It's very nice. Like so. And then that, basically filling in information gives you additional information for all the other spots. Is nice. We're gonna try it together. Okay, so count out the pattern, infuse squares as possible. Yeah, they're gonna do it like this. So this is actually the I guess you could call it an algorithm to solve these, is that you mentally place the most squished up version of the column or row that you can, and then overlay it like at the top or bottom or left and right if it's a column or a row, and then you do that on the opposite side. They're gonna do it here, yeah, and then you just are, if any blocks from the same number overlap, then you can guarantee that that's going to be a spot. They're gonna highlight it here. Yeah. Be aware of this square. It's a tricky one. Because it could be like, hey, look, there's an overlap. But there doesn't actually have to be a block there because it's on two different numbers. Yeah. Here's a good layout. Okay, see, because it's possible, as they're showing, to have the square where there's overlap be from two different numbers, where it could be filled in, but it also could not be filled in. So don't ever assume that it's fillable. That's a very important image for this game. Let's look at it again, because okay, well, they're looking at this, you know. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, there's only the one spot. Yes. Okay, cool, thanks, game. Oh wow, I did it. Yeah, okay, hint squares. Oh, okay, yeah. Alright, now what are you doing? Yeah, you're counting hints that overlap. Yeah, there's gonna be, what, 2 of them? 3 of them. It would have been 2 if it was the whole row, but I forgot. We can X out the rightmost column on that row. And here's another important thing. When you're close to an edge, this image right here, when you're close to an edge and the number's large enough, there's always, so even if it was, for instance, for this 5, even if it was all the way over to the right, that block to the left, that one red block on the left, always has to be filled in. Even if the 5 was as far over as it can be, it still sticks out that little bit, so that piece is always markable, which is what they're going to do here. And you can also count out the X's from that. So yeah, we're going to fill this in. Yeah, I did it. It still doesn't turn black because you can cross out the left columns. Yeah. Looks like we can add an X to this line. Yes, I did already mention that. Cross this out. Which also tells you can cross out the, whatever. Advanced technique. So this is an interesting one. You can do something here. What is it? I know what it's gonna be. There's a spot where you can mark an X guaranteed for this row. Just because of how the puzzle works out. I love that this is teaching you all the algorithms you sort of pick up over time and don't even think about. I haven't looked at this tutorial in a long time. But essentially, there's the one black square on this row. And it could be the 1 or the 2, right? The thing about this is that if it's the 1, every square to the left of it is X'd out, because the 2 can't be to the right of the 1. That's how the way the hint numbers are aligned, right? So either every single square to the left of this is X'd out if it's the 1, or if it's the 2, because there's an X on the right, the square to the left has to be filled in, and then immediately, because it's 2 separate numbers and not a 3, there has to be an X. So regardless of the configuration of this row, the square 2 columns to the left of that black square has to be an X. See? That's the one. That's another interesting. That's another way to look at it. Yeah, you can't mark it with a square because it is invalid if you do that. All right. Look at this column next. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Yeah. There's only one pattern. Yep. Okay. Game's missing sploosh and sploosh. No, sploosh is only if I. So there is an autocorrect, right? There's an autocorrect option that I also turned off. If you if you incorrectly mark a square, then the autocorrect option will fix it for you. Then that could be where the sploosh comes in. But yeah. Or are you saying the X's should all be splooshes? That's... You know what? Give me a Wind Waker Picross, Nintendo. There's a Twilight Princess Picross. And a Pokemon Picross. Maybe I should play that. I mean, I've played it. Maybe I should finish it. That one's crazy, though. That's not pure Picross. That one's building a team of Pokemon that trigger their abilities that, like, fill in half the puzzle for you already and freeze the timer because those ones have a time limit and stuff like that. Okay, we're gonna finish the puzzle. Here we go. Okay, we can do that, which means we can do that, which means we can do that. Which means we can do that, which means we can do that. Which means we can do that. Oops. That. This is finished. This is a 2, this is out, this is in. Da da da. And it's a flower. Tutorial flower. Okay, now that I've done the tutorial, here we go. It's a chest. Yeah, sure. Okay, moving on. So there might be points where I get stuck on this and be like, all right, help me out here, chat. Suggestions, but we'll see. We'll see. See if we get to that point. There are more and more here. Sometimes I just push the wrong buttons. I don't know what you are, a crane? That's a crane, all right. Yeah, it's not a battery. What do you want to call that? Container? No, it's not a container. It's a bay? I don't know. Anyway, stop giving me easy stuff. I say as we're at the start of this game. Did I mess up already? I sure did. Sure did mess up already. Alright, let's undo this. Alright, where'd I mess up? Not there. Maybe here. Let's undo that. Nope, that goes there. We can close that off. Do this. I just put one too many squares down, I think. Sometimes I do that. I'm very loose with my square placement and X placement. It's not. It leads to that, but I can undo it a lot of the time. All right. That's. Oh yeah, no, that is helpful. What am I talking about? We can do that. That. Not that. And, let's call it. There we go. Slug! I wasn't actually expecting that to be a slug, but you know what? Called it. Alright, now here's another thing, like, that you'll pick up when you play these sorts of things, but like this square and this square are not like it's not a single 4, it's 5 blocks apart. So I can do that. These are, again, they're not the same, but this one goes all the way up to here. So I can put an X there, which lets me do that. So this is the 3, which means I can do this. What's this? Well rigged. No, it's a clay pipe. Of course it was, the whole time. I knew that. Yeah. Alright, so another important thing is to know how to count to 10, or to count to the screen size, I guess you could say. This one here. The 2 and 7 count up to 9, but there's a gap because it's a 2 and a 7. Easy fill-in. Also, when a square is, I mentioned this already, but when a number is too large, and when a filled-in square is close enough to the edge of the screen that it's within the threshold for the number hint, you just place the missing blocks. So like here, this is a 4, and this column's filled in, so I knew that even if the 4 was all the way to the left, I could place a block here, which comboed into this 4, being able to place 3 blocks, because if this one's filled in, down here is the farthest away the 4 could actually be. So I can check all these out. Do this. As it turns out. Alright, so here's another trick. When there's a block that is two spaces away from the edge, and there's a 1 at that edge for the hint. So this row right here, it's a 1 and then a 3. So because there's a block here, if this is the 1, this is gonna be, these both are gonna be X'd out. If this is the 3, there could be a 1 here, but there can never be a block in this column. So this is just a free X, basically. You just know it's always going to be. And with that actually fills this in. Lets me do this. And here's another thing. I think they showed it off in the tutorial, but when there's a number that's too large, you just get to fill in all the X's for free. It's nice. And actually, counting to 10 again. And then here's another one. This can't be the 1, and this be the 3, so. 1, 3, and a 4. Can always fill that in. Pinwheels. Windmills? Pinwheels. Windmill. Ugh. It's even colored like it should be a pinwheel. What is this? I hate this. Okay. And here's another thing that just makes it easier to fill in blocks. Large numbers. Like they said, like, they did it for when it was like fully filled in, but you just basically how I think about it is, okay, it's an 8. So how many spaces is that away from 10? That's 2 spaces. Cut off the edges, the corners. If the number is big enough to go over halfway, right? If it's big enough to go over halfway, that's what these green lines are for. It's very nice. Then you can just kind of do that. Unfortunately, I also just cross all that out. But fortunately, though, let's do that. It's pretty much how this works. Okay, and then is this a count? Are we counting to 10 here? Yes. I don't know what this one is. Oh yeah, it's a goldfish. These pictures get easier to guess when they have more of a resolution, you could say. More resolution. This is like that. That. And I'd like to note, you may figure out where blocks go before I do, because I'm looking somewhere else. Don't worry, I'll probably see them. The really interesting thing about these ones, specifically the Picross S games, is that they're co-opable. Two-player co-op for these. It can get chaotic. But it is really interesting. I think the squares get color coded and then something else happens. I know I'm being very descriptive with that, but it's been a little while. More fish. Neon Tetra. Oh, this one's gonna be interesting. And another convenient thing about these sort of puzzles is that if there's one number, you know you can always connect them. So that's never gonna not be the case. Can't be. Okay, here's another trick. Right here. This column. So there's a gap here, and the number of squares here is the exact length of the larger number. Right? But the gap on the end with the smaller number is the exact number of blocks, right? So this right here could be the 1, or it could be the top of the 4. No matter which of those it is, if it's the 1 or the 4, this is still an X, always. So that can be X'd out. I just don't know if the 1's up here or if there's another X right here. But I still have no concrete. Okay, wait. That sealed it. It might have sealed it earlier, but I wasn't looking at it. Either way. There we go. It's a... Yeah, it's a tapir. Yeah. Anyone could have guessed that. Okay, here's another trick. This block right here has to be the 2, because I've crossed this out as a result of the other stuff in that column. So this was covered in the tutorial, but just this is an important one, because it's like, if you place an X like this and then it suddenly makes this gap, you want to be on top of this, because it makes it easier to not have to come back to this later and be like, ah, yes, this was here the whole time because I covered it earlier. But yeah, this doesn't reach here, so this is an X. So another thing is that even with the hint line, the blue hint lines turned off, the game still tracks like where the numbers are. Like you can see in this column, the 2 is grayed out and the 3 is solid, or is darker, because I've filled in enough squares for the 2 to count. Like I've made a 2 block line closed off at each end by an X. The game sees that and says, okay, you've marked it. But if I were to sum, and it would fill in for this 3 as well. But like until I actually make 3 squares and mark it off, or I don't even have to mark off the last one. But I think it might only care. I don't know the exact way it determines this, but as you can see, I placed this block and that grays out. So even with the blue hint lines turned off, it still keeps track of completed numbers. And that's important, because if you have an illegal row or column, it'll completely light back up. So if I place a square here, this column will light back up. It's invalid. That's what that means. You have placed blocks that should be X'd off, but they're not, or that should be grayed out, but they're not. So that's an important thing to look out for. I don't think I've done it to myself yet, but it'll probably happen. So where I just missed that I've placed an illegal block, or at some point I'll hit a conflict where there needs to be this many blocks in this row, but I can't place it because it invalidates another a different like a column or a row on the cross line. It's a thing. I'm sure it'll happen in later levels. It happened it did happen once in a previous mission. Yeah, these are missions now, not just puzzles. Anyway, also, every 15 levels is one you have to do. That was not a shirt? I don't know. The game sure thought it was, and who am I to argue? Alright, so, every 15 levels, the final level on each page, essentially, you see the yellow around this one? You have to do without hints. To which I say, oh no, because I'm already doing them without hints. But you know, these are more challenging if you have hints on. So another thing that I like to use is actually take these columns and rows. I use them to help me determine what block it is I'm looking at. So this block, like, I could work out. Music gives Bomberman 64 vibes. That's neat. They make new music sets for each of these, which is pretty nice. So this is all music I haven't heard before either. Anyway, the point is that I could work out that this is the one if I, like, thought about it for a little while. But instead, I'll just put an X here and see what it does. It crossed out the one at the top, right? which means this has to be another 1. And then the puzzle's finished, or the line's finished. But I'll use that information to do things a bit quicker. Well, that's interesting. Another trick I like to use right here. So I'll put these back. So this is a line with a 2 and 2 1s. None of those are 3 blocks long, so I know that I can put an X here always. Or like this can't be a 2, right? This can't be a 2 for several reasons, but there can't be a block here. And then once I've done that, I go, okay, is this a 2 or a 1? It doesn't matter. What it is that there's a 2 at the very top of this column, which means that everything below it has to be a 1 because that's all that's left, right? It's only ones. So I know I can cross this out. I don't know what I can do with this, but I know that this has to be a 1 because it's below the topmost line that I've filled in. This could end up being a 1 and the 2's up here. Doesn't matter. I know that this had to have been a 1. Ended up being the 2. That's how it be. What are you? Oh, okay, lantern. Yeah, okay. Alright, so I got some stuff there. I got some stuff there for doing that. So every time you clear a final puzzle on a page, and every time you fill a whole page, you get stuff for clip Picross. So, for clip Picross, it's a lot of smaller puzzles that form together to make a really big picture at the end. And these are usually based off of at least the theme for the last number of them that have had clip Picross, because I don't think S1 did. Maybe not even S2. But they're typically based off of classic fairy tales, which is interesting. So the pictures, so you see how there's 5 puzzles here? They'll depict the fairy tale progressing. It's kind of neat. So if we go in, we can see. Yeah, we've cleared 10. That's interesting. 10 here. Ah, okay. 10 here and 5 here. 15. Yeah. All right. Maybe I missed it earlier, but I guess every single puzzle here is a puzzle piece. Not just the completed pages. I got that number wrong. That's fine though. That's just more puzzles for us to do. This is the first one that's going to give me a little bit of a pause. Huh. Yeah, I can do that. When in doubt, look for the largest number. Just start there. That's pretty much how this works. A lot of the time, but not always. Yeah, it sure was a robin. I definitely got bird from that. I was gonna say something like a snowman. Alright, anyway. It's a banana. Oh. Oh. Okay. That's a banana. Oh. Whoop, there goes my headphones. Get those back. Okay, there we go. This one's being tricky. Okay, I think my next play is over here, actually. Yes. Good. But what information does... Oh, that's what that information gives me. Okay. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. that, it's banana. Oh. Oh, I just had some of that like last week. Good times. So, people seeing Picross for the first time. What are your opinions so far? I'm probably making it look a bit easier than it is if you have not had your hands on the controls for this kind of game. But honestly, it's not going to be too much different. That's a no, I'm not going to. Whoa! Chinchilla. Alright. Why is he, like, why is it a close-up? Yeah, you've never played. Yeah. And it's neat. Yeah, it's... So, if you... It's a change of pace, right? From me, who's usually playing an action or RPG or mix game, to just pivot straight into... Yeah, we're doing a puzzle game. There is no action. There is no RPG. There's no racing. We're going to be doing some racing soon, though. Hopefully. Oops, that's the wrong one. It's this one. Yeah. Good thing I caught that. Or it could have just also been that this is part of the 3 and I would not be punished, but we'll see. It's not tempted. So here's another trick, actually, that I like to use. I mean, you know, this is, again, stuff you'll pick up, but for this, again, these are not a 3, right? These are, we know where both of the 3s are. And because of that, we can cross this out. But we can do more than that, of course. Because there has to be an X in one of these 2 spots, we can try to place both of the 3s in here now. So if we take this as the right edge of the first 3, and place an X here mentally, not actually, and we count 3 squares over, we know we can place a block there. And similarly, if this is the left edge of the right 3, and we place an X here, then we can place a block there, always. I maybe did not explain that very well or at all, but that's what you're getting. Okay, now that's a banana. No, it's okay. I can't keep. We're not just gonna suddenly start a thing. We're not gonna do a bit where everything. It's funny that I got to do it twice, though. Now, see, again, this is what I was talking about earlier about seeing which number the game marks off for me. When I placed this, I knew it had to be a 1, right? Because it's too far down the puzzle to be the 2. So I marked it off, and then the game told me which one it was. It was the middle one. So then I knew I could count up here and go, okay, well, place the 1 and the 2 up here mentally, and place the 2 actually. Like, you could work that out yourself, but the game does it, so use the information it's giving you, you know? It's a bomb. No, it's super.